Hi guys, this is a video on how to install and format a micro SD card in your Galaxy Note 10.1. Now before we start, I would like to say that you can subscribe to my channel by hitting the link on the bottom right hand side of the screen. Obviously if this video is useful for yourself, then do like and share to your friends and family. Now what I'll be using is a SanDisk micro SD HC card. It's only a 4 gig, but these Note 10.1s are compatible up to a 64 gig. Now what we'll be doing is, first of all, we need to install the micro SD card. The way you do this is you don't really need to turn off the device on these. They do support a kind of like a plug and play. So if I just show you, on the top of your device there will be, just turn this around, just turn the screen off, there will be a micro SD slot there. You just need to open that first of all, like so, and then the micro SD card will go in here with this chip side down. So basically the writing will need to face yourself if you're facing the front, and all you do is you slot it in like so, and then you push the micro SD card all the way in until you hear it click like so, and then you replace the cover. Okay, so if we go back to the device now, so the micro SD card has been installed. All we need to do now is format it. If I take you to the settings screen first of all, and if you go down to storage, and then on the bottom here it'll say SD card, total space 3.79 gigabytes, available space 3.79. Now whenever you buy memory, it will show less than what is stated on the actual memory card. So for example, mine was a 4 gig, it says 3.79, and that's because there's some system files, hidden system files that you don't see, that tell the device how big it is and things like that. So and the speed and everything. So what we'll do is, first of all, we will format. So if you select the format SD card, it will say data cannot be recovered after SD card is cleared. Do you want to continue? Press the format SD card button, and then it will say again, just to reconfirm, so formatting SD card will delete all data. Data cannot be recovered. Do you want to continue? Now at this point I'm going to erase everything, and it will say unmounting SD card, erasing SD card. SD card is currently being checked, and then it will show the same thing again. So on mine, because it was virtually a new card, there's nothing on there. It says the same data, so total space will always remain the same, 3.79. As you use the SD card and put stuff on it, the available space will go down, of course. And then unmount SD card, we'll have a look in a moment, but first of all we'll go into the my files directly just to check. And then if I just show you, yours would look like this, to say that the external, that's ext SD card, that's how it will show. And then the SD card here, it's very important to remember that this is the tablet's own memory. So even though it says SD card, the external SD card is what you've just put in, and then it will automatically create a lost.dir directory. Now this is something that the system creates. I don't know what it's for, it just creates it. And then what we'll do is, you've got some buttons up the top. Now you can search through each, obviously the SD card, for whatever you're looking for. That's just a normal search there. We're not going to really go through that because that's pretty self-explanatory. You can set up a different way of viewing it as well there. So you've got a list view and like a tile view type of thing. And also this button is not enabled at the moment, but it just enables you to go to the root of your SD card. So if, for example, if I was to go in there, and let's just say if I was to create a new folder. Now you create a new folder in your SD card by hitting the plus sign here, in the folder, and it'll just say new folder. I'm not going to put anything, I'm just going to select done, and then it'll create the folder in your root directory. Now as you go in, then this button will be highlighted, basically enables you to go back to the start point, which is that. Now the way you set this up is you select the menu button, you go into settings there, and then I'll give you three options just as a general. The first is to show hidden files, so I haven't really enabled that, I have no need, but obviously if you need to see hidden files you would enable that there. Show file extension. Now the file extension is basically your dot and whatever comes after the dot. For example, if I was to create a Word document, it would be .doc, that's DOC, as a file extension, or depending on what type of Word, what version of Word that I'm using, it will be .docx. So that's the file extension. So if you want to see them, you would check that, and then set home directly. Now this is basically the button that I said that looks like a home. It takes you back. Now you are enabled to it does give you the ability to set that up as well. I've just set it up to go back to whatever's in my SD card. So if I just select done there, it will then take me, as you can see, root, external SD card, and whatever's in there. So if we go back, and if I go, for example, if I was to create a folder in new folder, just call it new folder again, and if I was to create a new folder again in new folder, so that's 3 levels down we are, as you can see. So that's the folder in my SD card, that's the folder within that folder, and that's another folder within that. If I select that, now we're in that folder, right, because it's blue. If I was to press the home button, it would take me all the way back to the external SD card. You'll see what directory you're in because it will show up as blue on the left. One of the other things that's very important is to how you take the SD card out. Now, although it does support plug and play, so you can virtually take it out and put it back in without anything major happening. However, if data is being either transferred or read from your micro SD card, then it can cause data on your SD card to be corrupt. So the way that you would take your SD card out properly would be if you go into settings, storage, and then you would go into unmount SD card, and it just says unmount SD card to safely remove it, and then it'll say unmounting SD card will stop some applications from functioning. Applications may not be available until you mount SD card again, and then you hit the OK button. You'll see when it's finished doing it because there won't be anything in SD card, and then you'll get a notification here to say SD card safe to remove. You can select that notification, and then if we go back here, just turn the screen off, and then we can unpry the cap off that, and we can take the SD card out there. Okay, all this is while obviously the tab is on, you don't need to turn that off. Okay guys, so that was installing and formatting and micro SD card. Thanks for watching guys.